Brown Dog Gadgets live.
Yes. Hello, welcome to Brown Dog Gadgets Live. I'm Amanda, the Education Outreach Coordinator here at Brown Dog Gadgets. Behind the camera, I've got Pete.
I'm here, over here for now.
Yeah. If you have not followed us on our social media platforms, please do so. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, and YouTube. Also, the project guide that you'll see today for our MicroBit University guide you can find on browndoggadgets.com. Yeah. And if you have any questions, just want to chat with us, you can leave a comment or you can always email us at help@browndoggadgets.com.
That's right.
Yeah. Today we're jumping back into MicroBit University. We've taken a few weeks off of it.
Yeah.
And we are back.
Okay.
If you are unfamiliar with MicroBit University, we take the MicroBit and our bit board and connect it to one or more of our Crazy Circuits parts to show how you can code them in simple ways and then kind of use them together. So today we are talking about the Piezo speaker.
True.
All right, let's check out the overhead cam.
Okay.
There we go.
It's not terrible.
Well, you gave me an old bit board.
Oh, yeah.
That's all right.
But I had ran out. I just went to the warehouse today and I looked in the bin and I'm like, why are they all gone? And they're in a box.
And we're not sharp today either.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, hold on. I was... So the camera, even though it's set to manually focus...
Yeah.
Sometimes it tries to...
There we go.
There we go. Sometimes it tries to autofocus itself. I don't know.
That makes sense. Sure.
Good.
All right, so this piece that we're using today is this little guy here.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, he's really on there. We're going to leave him on. This is our Piezo speaker. Hi, Jose. Welcome.
Yeah, right.
Now, when you're looking at our Crazy Circuits parts, if you are not familiar with them, you'll notice that some of the holes on one side are white and the other side is colored. For this one, they are black. And of course, I don't have any others to show. They're not always black, though. It depends on the part. The white is our ground holes, and those need to connect to the ground on our bit board.
Mm-hmm.
And the colored would connect to whatever pin we are running. So today, we're actually connecting our Piezo speaker to pin number 8.
Yeah.
And we're connecting them with 1/8" maker tape. If you're not familiar, a maker tape is a nylon conductive tape. It's like the far superior cousin to copper foil tape.
Mm-hmm.
So much easier to use, really easy to lay down paths on, like this Lego base plate.
Mm-hmm.
It is sturdy, it doesn't rip on you. It's just really great stuff. And I can take it off when I'm done. It's not stuck here forever.
Right.
It's great stuff.
Totally.
All right, so with our Piezo speaker, when I plug in my power source, we're going to hear some sounds. There is a speaker built into the version 2 of the MicroBit, which we'll get into in a minute, but we're kind of talking right now about the speaker that is part of our Crazy Circuits system.
That's fun. Can everyone hear that?
I don't know. I can hear it.
Yeah, we can hear it. I hear something.
Like a little tweeting. All right, I'm going to stop it while we talk.
Good idea.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, Pete, let's check out the code.
Let's do this. Let's see. Hey, I'm over here now. Great.
Changed your background, too.
I changed
so fancy. You have like 3 different backgrounds.
I know. This is the green screen behind me. Okay, yeah. Hey, look, you can see our MicroBit there. And look, MicroBit University. Can you believe we are up to chapter 13 here?
And we're so not even halfway through.
No.
Like not even close.
To go. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, Piezo, Piezo speaker. I believe Piezo, it's basically like a device that translates electronic or electrical current into sound or pressure, like a speaker. So we call it a Piezo speaker, or just a Piezo for short. Anyway, we've got 4 different bits of code to look at today, so let's look at this first one, which we've already heard.
Yep.
So again, our connection there is very simple, just 2 pieces of tape to get that together. The code, let's look at the code for real here. We're gonna do this, we'll do this.
And I think this is some of the most fun code for students to mess with.
I will say this, Josh will always say that sound is trouble in multiple ways, because it can be super annoying in a classroom, depending on your students. But like whenever we did stuff for trade shows, Joshua, I think he's learned this from the years of like, he's like, nothing with sound. Just you can't hear. There's people talking. There's noise. And unless we're driving like a huge speaker system,
right,
you're not going to hear. I mean, we're sitting in this quiet room and we could hear that sound, which was about half volume. It's like, if it's something on a desk in front of you, you can hear it. If you're in a loud, large environment, you can't really hear it that well.
But very engaging for students if they're playing around with the code and they're in person to hear it.
Yeah, and we use sound basically in a few different projects to like alert you that something's happening or something is going there. I think we use it with like a calibration routine. So it like beeps while it's calibrating to let you know like, hey, it's still calibrating. Things like that, sort of those extra interface things that can help. So.
Well, and we've also used sound in making like a piano as well.
Oh, yeah, totally. So building an instrument, that's the other kind of use of it. So in our start here, we're doing something called set audio pin. So back in the olden days of MicroBit version 1, which was 6-7+ years ago or whatever, you could set an audio pin and it would be any pin. And eventually they came out with version 2, which has the built-in piezo. So, man, if you flip that MicroBit around, we see the back. So that large black piece right in the center
right here
is the speaker.
Got it.
And when they came out with that, Josh and I were both like, that's a really good sort of addition. It's an improvement to the MicroBit. Before that, we used our own Piezo speaker, and I think the Piezo still comes in the kit, and you can use it.
It does.
You can use one or either or both, and we'll see that in the next bit of code. But we'll look at this first, because it can be a little weird having two different ones, so we'll cover that. So we set our audio pin to pin 8. Usually, I think it'll default to pin 0, which is the built-in one. I think it's connected to pin 0. So we're saying audio pin enabled true. I think if you set this false, you're not going to get any audio output. So we're obviously going to set it to true.
Yep.
And then I've turned off the built-in speaker for this code. So you're only going to hear it through that Crazy Circuits Piezo that we added in. And then volume, so your classic 0 to what's going to be, 255, 6, 255, which if you start at 0 is 256 values, right? Should go to 0. And setting it to 0 should be the same as, turning it off, sort of. So if you wanted to play a sound at 0, it'd be like setting your LED to 0 with no output. So for this, we're just set it about halfway-ish, whatever. Okay. Over here in our forever, we're going to play a sound. So all these kind of sounds are built in make code for the MicroBit. And they all have different kind of weird sounds to them. Giggle was kind of a fun one, as you heard. And you have a few options where you can play it until it's done. So it'll play the whole length of the sound, or if it's a second or two. You can choose to have it play in the background, in which case, it'll just keep playing as other things happen. Or you can have it loop in the background, in which case it would just keep going forever. So those are your options. So the way we have it here is, this should make sense. So it's going to play that sound. We're going to say until done. So let's play it. It plays it for, let's say it takes 3 seconds. And then it's going to drop down here. It's going to wait 1 second, come right back around, and do it again. So I think when you did it, we heard it. You kind of heard a sound, didn't hear a sound for a while, heard a sound. It's going to keep doing that. Pretty darn simple, right?
It is.
It is.
Absolutely.
Cool. Anything else on that one?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Next up, B, we have the Piezo with the built-in speaker.
Yeah.
So let's see how that one goes.
Yeah. And again, no change in wiring or connections. We're just changing what we do here. So that's all the same. Let's look at this code. And for this one, I kind of cheated and used the, and the simulator, I think, I don't know if it'll show anything. Oh, I think because we have the built-in, maybe it won't show anything in the simulator. But I cheated a little bit here because what I did was, we are using the 2 buttons, as you've already figured out. Just because it was a really easy way to distinguish. At first I just had this in one big loop, but it was hard to know what was happening. So this should look like the last one. We're setting the audio pin, set to true. We're turning off that built-in piezo speaker, set the volume, and then we're playing the sound. So Amanda, if you press that button A, we're gonna get that sound, and it might be hard for you to tell, but it's coming out the piezo on the board, on the Lego board. Over with button B, and you'll notice, press one and then the other again. You'll notice it's a slightly different sound quality to it. So over here, again, the big difference is we're saying set that built-in speaker to on. So we're telling it to use that. And
above it, you're setting the audio pin enabled to false.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, we are doing that. Right. So I just wanted to kind of show how you can control the different speakers. And if this is set to true, it will play on both of them, because it'll actually mirror whatever sound it's playing on the external one on the internal one, unless you specifically turn it off. So
for button press B, since we're not using the Crazy Circuits part, we're using the built-in speaker. Do we have to set the audio pin to pin 8?
No, we should be able to take out like this and maybe even this. I'm not sure. But yeah, I think I just kind of cloned it over to show you. If it was in the setup, you'd be calling it once.
Right.
But I really just wanted to highlight side by side sort of the difference between these. So just because in most cases, using that built-in one is a great idea. It's a really nice piezo. It sounds really good. If there's cases where you definitely want to use the Crazy Circuits one externally, or use both, then we just want to show you how that would work. One thing we talked about is, like, we do some weird projects sometimes where there's like a Lego thing, or maybe there's like something's in a box. If you did want to pull that Crazy Circuit speaker, the piezo, sort of out of a project or to a different part of a project, you could easily do that with some maker tape running. Imagine it outside of a box so that the speaker's on the outside, the rest is hidden inside. That's what you can't obviously do with the one that's built on to the MicroBit, because it's on there. So
yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So that's that one.
All right. Then guide C is piezo tones.
Let's look at some tones. Sounds are all about tones and all that. Okay. Ooh, this one sounds great, right? There's some serious 8-bit vibes going on there. Oh yeah, so you'll see this is where it's saying like, oh, you have a speaker connected. That's the best they can do, I guess, for the simulator. And I think, let's see if this works. Yeah, I don't have any buttons to press, but anyway, we'll look at the code. Get that a little larger. Okay, so again, this all looks the same over here. So we do actually have, for this one, audio pin P8 enabled and then on. So these sounds should be coming out of both speakers, stereo, as you might say. And over here, we've just got this great repeat 4 times, and it's gonna do a tone. It's going to pause, do a tone, and these tones, so this is interesting, is that you can basically choose it, and you should be able to hear that. I hope you hear it. So yeah, you're basically this piano here to choose the tones you want, and it'll actually kind of like, you'll see I'm doing like high E here. It'll show the actual hertz of it, so I think you can type that in too. I thought you could. Yeah, so you can actually type in a number there, or you can use the actual name of the note when you're selecting it. So that's that. So again, we've seen this pause used before for like blinking an LED or whatever. So we're going to play a tone, then wait, play another tone, then wait. Now because we are, and can you just let it play again? So there's not really a pause between sort of, there's not silence, I should say, because it's going to play this, it's going to play it
for that long.
200 milliseconds and then play the next one. At the end, we actually call this stop all sounds. And it's stop all sounds because remember how we could have sounds play in the background? So we could have set a sound to play in the background and then play these tones. So this will stop all of them, basically. And it's going to wait then, I think, 10 seconds I have it set for. And it'll do it all again.
Yeah. Nice.
That makes sense.
This is where I definitely see kids trying to make their own song.
Yeah, and you totally should. Totally should.
So much fun. And then our last one for today is Piezo Tone Time.
Tone time. Yeah. So this one, on that last one we used pause. This one we're going to look a little more advanced. So, now again, I'm not a great music theory person. I'm not a music teacher. I just made noise, basically. But let's see. So again, our start is going to look all the same there. One new addition, set tempo. So I've set the tempo to 400 beats per minute. And again, you can get your classic 120 or whatever in there. The brush goes down to 40, I guess, which is as slow as you're going to go. Over here, though, a little more complex. Now, instead of having that sort of pause afterwards, what we're doing is we're resting for a certain number of beats, 1 or a half or an eighth or 4 beats or whatever, and then we're going to play that. So we're going to start by playing that sound for, let's say, 1 beat, and again, it's going to play that sound until done. We're going to do the background or the looping. So if you play that again. So you should be hearing 4 notes, and then it rests for 4 beats and does it again. So this is a lot more sort of music oriented than the previous example, which was like play a tone for this long and then so this is actually gets into beats and measures and sixteenths and all that jazz, which is beyond my capabilities. But I think you could certainly see how this could be incorporated into sort of like a music lesson, talking about beats and half beats and 2 beats and and the rest period and all that. And you can certainly change that tempo, and it would just slow down the whole thing. And rather than having adjust pauses here, I need to change how much time I'm pausing, I'll work by the tempo of the whole thing. So that's that one.
That's awesome. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of ways that this can get customized and adjusted. Yeah, very cool. Quick side note, we learned something new in our Pathfinder session recently, that we have this black reset button on the back, right? And when you press it, it resets it and starts over. However, you can also hold it down for 5 seconds, and it will stop whatever program is running until you press it again or plug it back in. So if I just press the reset, it's going to start back over. But if I hold it down, wow, of course it doesn't want to show my example.
Keep holding it.
Well, usually it stops when I do it, but no. Now it's being funny. I know. I literally did it on all the other examples.
Yeah, I know. I wonder if it's something weird with the sound.
I thought I did it on this one too.
Oh.
There we go.
Okay.
So if I hold it for 5 seconds, then it won't start back up. And then I can press it and start it again.
Yeah.
If I'd like to.
Which is good. And that's the kind of stuff which I always just write into the code somehow because I like to be able to see it. Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely another good tip for all that jazz.
Yeah. Well, that is actually all we have for you today. We
Oh my
hope you
God.
enjoyed adding our piezo speaker into the mix. Next week, we're going to be working on a light up tiara. It's very fancy. Very fancy.
Yeah.
As well as the belt bot robot card.
Belt bot, yeah.
And then we're going to do another day of piezo with 2 button speed. Is that right?
I'm already working on some of that stuff, so.
Awesome. Yeah, so hopefully you'll join us next week. Otherwise, have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you then.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. Please visit browndoggadgets.com for parts, projects, and curriculum. Follow us on social media @BrownDogGadgets. We'll see you next time.